Hey guys, I'm Jay, and today we're going to look at the Kizer Vanguard Velox 2, model number V4478A2. But first, as usual, we'll start out with the features, then we'll move on to my 7 likes and dislikes, and make sure that you guys stay until the end because I will be displaying the full specs for you. And if you're someone that is really short on time, or maybe you just want a knife review that gets right to the point, you should probably go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Now, the Velox 2 is actually designed by Mike Vagnino, and if that name sounds familiar to you, that's because he's actually done quite a few designs for Olamic cutlery. Now, the blade length comes in at about 3.37 inches long, with VG10 blade steel, which I actually really like VG10. It's one of those blade steels that just kind of is right in the middle as far as like corrosion resistance and edge retention, and it's going to be very easy to sharpen. It's not going to stay as sharp as long as let's say M390, but it will hold its edge for quite a while. And no, you are not seeing things. There is actually a very slight recurve on this blade. Now, this is about 3 millimeters thick, which makes this a very good slicer. The handle thickness is also very good. It's under a ½ inch at 0.48 inches, so very slim. The handle length is about 4.375 inches, which gives you a very good blade to handle ratio. And the closed width, so how much room it's actually going to take up in your pocket, is going to be about 1.13 inches. Now, deployment is actually accomplished with this very small and unobtrusive flipper that actually hides within the handle once that blade is deployed. Now, this is riding on a ball bearing pivot, and there are 2 other variants of the Velox 2. You can actually get another with black G10 scales, same VG10 blade, or there is a model with titanium scales, and that blade actually has it's S35 VN blade steel. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that weight. Looks like that this weighs in at about 4.3 ounces, which is going to be roughly the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AA batteries. Now, I want to go ahead and bring in some other knives just so you can kind of see what we're working with today. The Paramilitary 2, of course, by Spyderco. The Benchmade Griptilian. What else? Oh, I want to bring in this other Benchmade, the 4A, and that is just going to be because they are very similar in design. Obviously, the 4A is quite a bit smaller, but they are very similarly designed. One more, ZT0350. Let's go ahead and start out my 7 likes and dislikes with the appearance of the Velox 2, which I really do like. I do like how, did you notice? Now, when the blade is actually closed, there is very little that is exposed, which is really nice because that's going to be less blade to get, you know, scratched up in your pocket if you have like some keys in there or whatever else it is that you carry around every day. So I really like how the blade is kind of concealed in there in the handle. I do like the choice of the green G10. I think it looks really nice, especially with the black cutout accents. The flipper, which we started to talk about, I think is very nice design with how it kind of is hidden within the blade handle once it is deployed. And did you also notice that there happen to only be 2 body screws? Yes, 2 body screws, and then obviously just the 1 pivot screw. Next is going to be the ergos, which I also really like on the Velox 2. If I hold it here in this kind of grip, I mean, I can fit all of my fingers on the handle, which is really nice, very comfortable. I do not feel any like hot spots. The balance is also, I believe, oh yeah, very good, perfectly balanced. And there is a little bit of a sharpening choil that Kizer gave us. Thank you very much, guys, for that. And there is only one spot of jimping, and that's going to be right on the flipper. Now, I have to be honest with you, I do wish there was just a little bit of jimping here up at the top, right by the pivot on the blade spine. And that's just because since the flipper is hidden basically in the handle, you know, there's really nothing to prevent your fingers from sliding forward. So I would just feel a lot more comfortable if there was just a little bit of jimping up at the top. Okay, let's move down the list to the materials used. Well, VG10 and G10. I mean, there's not much to be said about that. I mean, that's, you know, a good choice. I think VG10 is just a great kind of all-around blade steel. Next on the list is going to be the Action, which is actually going to be my first gripe of the Velox 2. I do really like, though, I want to point this out to you. Look at that, the tight tolerances. That is really nice to see. I don't know, it just gives it a nice kind of clean look. The deployment is a little sluggish, and here's where that kind of compromise comes into effect here. With the smaller flipper, you know, you're not gonna get as good of an action on there like you would with a much larger flipper. So yeah, it is just a little bit sluggish, and you kind of gotta just make sure that your finger positioning is just right to get a good deployment without having to, like, you know, flick the wrist or anything. I am unable to actually shake this open, and I have really tried. You know, with most knives, you can usually get that to shake open, especially if you like go ahead and like hit your hand on a table or something, and then that will just jar the blade loose. I tried everything I could possibly think of to shake this open, and it would not whatsoever. So that means it's a very well-designed D10. Now, I mentioned how the deployment is a little sluggish. That is kind of ironic considering Velox means speedy or rapid or quick. So I thought that was kind of funny. Next on the list is going to be the Pocket Presence. Now, the clip, you can actually switch. It's going to be tip up only, and you can switch that for righties or for lefties. Now, it's not a true deep carry pocket clip, but to be honest, I really do think that it's deep enough. I really do like how this pocket clip actually looks. And the closed width and thickness are also very respectable. So this is not going to take up too much room in your pocket. Next is going to be the weight, which, what did we say it was? About 4.3 ounces, which is not bad. However, now that weight, let me see if I can show you guys this. You see that? They actually milled out on the one side only, on the liner. But think about that now. What if they did not mill this out? I mean, and how heavy would that be? So with some material being removed, it's still at 4.3 ounces, which is a good weight. But you know, it's slowly approaching that point of no return where it could be considered heavy. But no, I really do like the weight of the Velox 2. And last on my list is going to be the price. I mean, 80 bucks. You know, it's a knife in the Vanguard series, so you know it's going to be very affordable. And you know, $80 for VG10 blade steel and nice G10 scales with a very respectable weight, I think is a very fair price. Oh, and the ball bearing pivot. I mean, that's a lot that you're getting for 80 bucks. Okay, so just to go ahead and summarize, we said appearance was a like, ergos was a like, materials like, action was a dislike, pocket presence was a like, weight and price were both likes. So that means this is a very solid recommendation from me, even though I know the design is really not all that exciting. I mean, it is kind of bland, kind of boring. I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way. So why don't we just go ahead and call it simplistic, and we'll leave it at that. Now, if this video about the Kizer Vanguard Velox 2 answered most of your questions, why not go ahead and just leave a like? So make sure you guys stick around. Don't go anywhere, because I'm gonna throw the specs up on the screen here. So I just want to thank you guys for stopping by and letting me talk knives with you. I really, really do enjoy it. And I will see you guys at the next video. You guys take care, okay?